Hundreds of people marched to Parliament today calling for reform of New Zealand's abortion laws as Cabinet prepares to consider a bill that would remove abortion from the Crimes Act. Currently, the law allows for abortion to be performed only to save the life of the mother or to preserve her physical or mental health, and only if the procedure is approved by 2 doctors or consultants. While the pro-choice march was underway, a petition against the proposed law change with 13,000 signatures was presented to MPs. Pro-choice groups see the bill as a promising step towards decriminalisation, while pro-life groups say it's the most extreme abortion law in this country's history. Katie Scotcher reports.
Abortion is not a crime. Now's the time. Abortion is not a crime.
More than 200 people marched to Parliament this morning, demanding reform of New Zealand's abortion law. The rally was met by representatives from Family Planning, Abortion Rights Aotearoa, Victoria University, as well as Associate Justice Minister Jan Logie and Dame Margaret Sparrow. Dame Margaret, who has been campaigning for reform since 1969, told the crowd that now is the time for change.
We've got a new opportunity, we've got new MPs. There's been such a lot of changes in the last 41 years, changes in society, changes in women's lives, changes in medicine, changes in medical technology. We need to change our law.
As people chanted outside, Cabinet ministers met inside Parliament to look over a draft bill that would remove abortion from the Crimes Act. Family Planning Association Chief Executive Jackie Edmonds says this step is promising.
We are also nervous about what could be added in and whether parliamentarians start fiddling with the recommendations from the Law Commission.
In October last year, the Law Commission presented its advice to Justice Minister Andrew Little, which recommended 3 options for reform, all of which decriminalised abortion. The first option is for a woman and her doctor to decide. Another is that a mental health assessment is carried out for all abortions. And the third would only require a woman's mental health being examined after 22 weeks of pregnancy. Whatever option has been chosen hasn't been made public yet, but Ms Edmonds hopes it's the first. Sue Claridge from the Auckland Women's Health Council also supports this option. She says abortion needs to be treated as a health issue, not a mental health issue.
It is important that women considering abortion are provided the option of having counselling, but to somehow suggest all women's mental health is so poor that that's the only reason, that they have to have some sort of test of their mental health. I don't think that's helpful. I think, again, it's demeaning and it takes agency away from women over their own body.
Michelle Kaufman from Family Life International, a pro-life lobby group, says she's disappointed the government is even considering decriminalising abortion. She says all unborn children need to be protected from the first moment of their existence.
They are deserving of life. They have a right to life. Without the right to life, we have no other rights. And they are deserving of protection, just as a born child is deserving of protection and care and support. And to be honest, our women and families need protecting from abortion.
It was expected the Legislative Cabinet Committee would give the green light to the draft bill today. The full Cabinet is then expected to rubber stamp it before it's debated in the House. It will be treated as a conscience issue, which means MPs don't have to vote along party lines. The Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, who has been a vocal advocate for reform, says she doesn't know how members of the Labour Party will vote.
Some drafts have been discussed with members across Parliament. Obviously, they'll want to see the final legislation once that process is complete. Ultimately, this is a matter for them, though, and as I say, I hope it's given due consideration.
National Party leader Simon Bridges wouldn't say if he supported the bill.
I want to read it and really think about it before I launch into what will obviously be a controversial topic for New Zealanders.
Senior National MP Amy Adams has been pulled in to help Mr Little with the proposed reform. Ms Adams, who is retiring at the next election, is broadly supportive of what she's seen of the proposed legislation. Simon Bridges says this doesn't concern him, as people are entitled to their views. Mō te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei, ko Katie Scott Churaho.